Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Bartlett. I'm a master metaphysical astrologer, and I'm here to share with you my astrological forecast for June 2023. If you like what I'm sharing with you, please hit the like button. Please share with your friends. Please subscribe. I'm happy to receive comments and get back to them. Feel free to contact me at michael@coremichael.com or visit my website at coremichael.com. All righty. So as you know, of course, dates and times are approximate. Please adjust for your place on Earth. The work that I do here with these forecasts are based on the fourth harmonic, meaning that you take the 360-degree dial of the zodiac, the complete circle, and you divide it by 1, 2, and 4, which gives you the what we call conjunctions, kind of like a Siamese twin effect. The squares, those things that happen in life that kind of come out from nowhere and kind of get at us, and then those really direct attacks that are presented within oppositions that really show things like very clearly. All right. Of course, I want to thank Christine Chianchi, who lovingly and amazingly hand painted in oil all the original figures that you're going to be seeing laid out, such as the one you see behind me. This is Moon in Aquarius. The settings that they're set in the background are actually images that she pulled together as a montage to show the elements of the sign / house in which these planets are playing out their energies. And also, as when you sign up on my website, you will receive a 2023 retrograde calendar showing you which planets are going retrograde throughout the year, giving you a little bit of an idea of best time to plan for things that are going on based on your personal chart. I'm excited to announce that on the 17th of June, I will be doing actually a free webinar for Kepler College. You can please visit them at keplercollege.org. Here's actually the link for registration. Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, as you know, there's going to be a few challenging days this month, which I'll be talking about as we go on. On the 5th of June, we have a Venus moving out of the sign of Cancer and moving into the sign of Leo, joining up with her divine consort of Mars. This is a little bit more creative. Venus is a little more Venus and Mars together, these are the divine masculine and feminine complements for one another. They love getting together here in this place. While this is a fixed sign of Leo, there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of fire and sparks. She's not going to be playing as safely and kind of as demurely as she was when she was in the sign of Cancer. So for those of you who have planets in the fixed signs, you're going to be feeling this slight change, or especially if you have planets in Leo. On the 5th of June as well, we have Venus creating an opposition directly with Pluto. This can be a little bit challenging. Maybe there's a way you're wanting to go out and set up a first date with someone. Maybe you met someone on Tinder or online or something, and you're kind of feeling like something might not be right. I would say, honor your instincts. These are also times when issues with relationship can come to light. You might find out some unsavory aspects about your partner or your spouse or your lover. Aquarius has a way of wanting to see things in a grander sort of humanitarian view, but it's also a fixed sign. When it's in there with touching onto Venus, what we can say is there's, quite literally some sort of a transformation occurring with our loving values, what we value, what we find is important, the relationships, and where we find our loyalties. I'm really up for sort of a review, especially if you have Venus in either one of these signs or any of the fixed signs. Yeah. On the 11th of June, we have Pluto moving back into, because he's in his retrograde motion, he's moving back into the sign of Capricorn. Sorry, he's leaving Aquarius, going back into Capricorn. This is an interesting time where, this is unfinished business that went on. I kind of like to see when these planets go into these next signs and then go back into the previous sign. There's like a stitching over, like when we visit somewhere, especially a foreign country or somewhere unusual for us, and we come back, we're kind of coming back with a little bit wider understanding and perspective about things that we can actually, use to our advantage back home. So when I think of Pluto going back into Capricorn, it's like, well, what kind of humanitarian, foreign-oriented considerations did Pluto gain while it was in the sign of Aquarius? And now moving back into Capricorn, how will that transform the ways in which business, government, corporations, the way we approach work, will that be challenged and changed as well? Because as we know, Pluto is about power and transformation. So wherever these energies are coming through, there's some, these final shifts that are going to be worked on. On the 11th of June, we have Mercury. Lots of sign changes this month, of course. I was supposed to disappear. I guess I didn't make the disappear button happen. So Mercury is leaving the sign of Taurus, where it has been with Jupiter and Uranus, and has moved into the sign of Gemini, where the sun just recently entered in the end of May. So now we have Mercury is going to be approaching a conjunction with the sun. This can create a lot of good busyness. I mean, this is kind of nice because school is out. People, this is really a great opportunity for people to kind of go out and be a little more social, having communications, connecting with people, moving a little bit more often. Those of us here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the beginning of our, getting to be like summertime. So it's a great time to go out and take walks and move. You can see how Mercury is dressed up here wearing a fencing outfit, carrying their cell phones, is connecting with people, moving around, being a lot more enlivened, not sitting on the sofa any longer. It's a big difference of going from Taurus, who wants to kind of be left alone and kind of be, fed grapes and relaxing and enjoying life. Gemini is a little more out there and exciting. And of course, Mercury rules Gemini. And that is an important remembrance. And there's the clock ringing the time. It's sounding the bell. It's time to go out and play. It's time to go out there and connect. Time to move our bodies. On the 11th of June, we have an opening square going on between our benefics, Jupiter, which is in Taurus, and Venus, who is in Leo. These is an opening square. What I like to say with an opening square is it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's very cautionary. So in this sense, Jupiter, maybe, if you're going through an interesting, you're having a new relationship with someone, this is the time when it's kind of like, oh, I thought this person was a little more this, or I thought this person was a little more that. It creates this step where we have to kind of step back a little bit and go, hey, wait a minute, is this really something that I do want to continue with? Because then if you do, then you're going to continue the cycle with this, whatever this energy is that's going on. On the 15th of June, we have an opening square as well happening between Saturn in Pisces and Mercury in Gemini. This is a great time to see what gets presented. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you sensing from the firmament? What's happening in your dream state? Are there times when you are interacting with people where you go, wait a minute, I don't know that I'm feeling this warmth anymore? I have some friends and myself where there are long-term relationships that we have been having to step away and say, no, that no longer serves in a way that's healing for me. And it's very challenging because, in our society, we're sort of taught this idea that longevity implies loyalty, or longevity implies acceptance, or longevity implies compassion. And those of us who were raised in very traumatic and emotionally and physically abusive households, we can normalize a lot of crazy behavior. And the hardest thing for us to do is to say no to people and to step away. But sometimes that's really the healthiest thing we can do. So I would say, during this time period, this is really good, this on the 15th, from the 11th of June, with that Jupiter Venus square and the Mercury Saturn square, because Saturn also wants us to teach about what our boundaries are, but sometimes our boundaries are very fluid. Saturn in Pisces is is when we build sandcastles on the beach. It's not a permanent boundary, but the truth is, when it comes to boundaries, they are energetically dynamic fields that adjust based on our moods, just on the planets, adjusted based on the people we're with. Consider, when you look at the people in your life, there are people you have a very easy way of getting along with, and there's some people where every single thing that you say and do encounters a negative reaction from them. And we sometimes have to say, hey, you know what? I love you, and maybe this isn't a great friendship for the two of us, or maybe this isn't a great relationship for us to have, because I have to make myself small in order to be around you. It doesn't mean that we have to be, I think it comes from, we each have to decide what it is that is true for ourselves, I guess is what I'd say. And this is a perfect time for finding this out for ourselves, all of us collectively. On the 17th of June, Saturn begins his retrograde motion away from Neptune and Pisces, and stepping back. He's not going to move into Aquarius where he rules, but he is going to be kind of being a little more circumspect. So this is really a great time to take time. Saturn is known as Chronos, taking the time while he is in these deep waters, going backwards, saying, hey, what is my truth? Saturn is our teeth, our bones, our skin. Saturn is the last planet we can typically see with the naked eye. It is the classical last planet when we talk about classical astrology and historical astrology. Vedic astrology doesn't even incorporate any planets after Saturn because we couldn't see them with our naked eye. So these represent these kind of human limitations that we have to go through. Saturn getting into this position of Pisces and then getting ready to start the cycle over again in Aries, gives an opportunity for review. Retrograde periods are always about these RE words like review, rest, reconsider, realign. Almost any of those words you can talk for rest. So, take some time now. Take some of the Chronos time to review what is working in your life and what isn't working in your life, and what would it be like to start creating boundaries that are manifesting the change that you want to have in your life. On the 18th of June, we have yet another opening square, which is the Sun in an opening square in Gemini from Neptune in Pisces. So what is it that's not radiating out for you in a way that is aligning with your spiritual and creative self? I mean, not everyone here on the planet, I would consider probably most of you who are listening to my podcasts here on YouTube are of a certain sort of bent. You have a spiritual understanding. You understand that there's something to do with consciousness. That, as you know, is not the norm here on the planet. The Sun Neptune combination is, sometimes, Neptune is also sometimes the ways in which we have our dreaminess, the ways in which we keep our head in the clouds, the ways in which we engage our addictions of, substance abuses, whether they be drinking, whether they be drugs, whether they be love, whether they be relationships, whether it's sex, rock and roll, artwork, whatever is the escape for you. This square with the Sun is going to be bringing a little light to that, saying, hey, is that a healthy way of getting what you really need? Because, when we self-medicate through drugs, alcohol, sex, we're not really necessarily answering those deeper needs within ourselves. So it gives us the opportunity again, which is kind of the theme for June I'm seeing now, is that, this is a great opportunity to be identifying what is true for yourself. What are the emotionally regenerative processes in your life that feed you versus that which is sucking the life force out of you. This is a really great time to be looking at and observing what it is that works and moving away from that which doesn't. Kind of coming back to reality. Then on the 21st of June is the sun moving out of the sign of Gemini into the sign of Cancer, which of course is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. The sun moves away from that activity and kind of says, hey, it's time to be a little more circumspect, a little more cautious, spending a little more time at home, maybe with one's clan, whatever that clan is. It can be your birth family, blood family, or it can be the family that you've created for yourself. Oh, the summer solstice. Enjoy the 5 days until yet another opening square occurs on the 26th of June between Uranus and Mars. I don't like when Uranus and Mars are in a square relationship, especially if you have any planets in the sign of Taurus or Leo. Please be aware, also if you're in either of the other fixed signs of Aquarius, and for some reason I'm having a mind blank to Scorpio, of course, where my moon is hiding away. This can be a time where I would say it's going to be really important to be a little more careful, a little more taking a little more time and not rushing into any rash decisions. Again, these are all opening squares that are going on here this month. So while this is a time of moving forward, it's a time of moving forward and then having the opportunity to review as you're doing it. So if things aren't feeling right, taking a little more time, telling someone, if someone's pushing you for something, demanding something from you, you might want to say, hey, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I acknowledge, it's always good to acknowledge people, because not being acknowledged is something that gets some of us very irate. So acknowledge the person and say, hey, the truth is I need a little bit of time here to review this, and I will get back to you, and then follow through and get back to them. But giving yourself the time to process what you need. So if you have planets at 21.5 degrees of Taurus and Leo, it's of course going to be affecting Scorpio and Aquarius as well, if you have any planets there. On the 21st of June, Mercury is going to join back up with the sun in the sign of Cancer, leaving the Gemini sign, which he rules, and stepping into, again, taking a little more time. This is still solstice period, right? So this is, the sun just went there first, then Mercury's going to join right over. It's kind of fun. They can hang out, be dads, do the barbecue in the backyard, invite the friends over, or be the mom. Sorry, don't mean to be... I'm not trying to be sexist or gender-based in this, because it's about all of us, going through and experiencing these energies. This creates, of course, this is the Kizimi energy, where Mercury and the sun are completely merged. It's basically impossible to see Mercury at this period because of the brightness, the light that is going on with the sun. So this is when Mercury kind of gets engulfed, in a sense, by the sun's energy. The 30th of June, Neptune also begins his retrograde motion. So we have two of the outer planets in Pisces going retrograde. Saturn, as we discussed before, and Neptune now. So expect things like, especially when it comes to creative processes and kind of like we were just talking about a moment ago, sex, drugs, rock and roll, addictions, creativity, dreaminess, and spirituality. It's a great time to be working on one's spiritual practice, meditation, taking the time again to do things. This is, I think, a good time. I think artwork is really great during these retrograde periods, if you do any sort of artwork, because it kind of helps draw things out. Or if you write, that's also beautiful. Speaking, getting a tape recording device, or doing something like this, on Zoom, and helping other people to become wise and informed, are really great energies for what is going on here. On the 30th of June, Mercury is doing the exact conjunction that we were kind of coming up. I think this is actually really the Kizimi that I was speaking to earlier. Sorry about when I said that earlier, somewhere here on the 30th of June. So expect there to be, really Communicating from your home, communicating issues and shining out in ways that have to do with the ways one nurtures. But also, this is also Cancer territory is very moody because it's ruled by the moon. So expect there to be some sort of an emotional undercurrent as well. I'm excited to say on the 17th of June, this is wrong here it's actually the 17th of June for Kepler College. I will be giving a free webinar. Please visit them at keplercollege.org. And then on the 15th of July, I will be doing a Mavericks Unshackled workshop. And we'll be happy to have any of you with having Mavericks, meaning any of you that have planets in the same sign as any of your birth angles, the ascendant, IC, descendant, or midheaven. I'm excited to say that I'm also offering astrological coaching, and because I think it's so important in this time and date for us to use the skills that we know from astrology, as well as all the multiple skills that I've gained and learned over my lifetime and my soul's evolution and understanding, to offer to you ways of using your chart as a way of helping to guide you to your highest expression, whether you're a maverick, whether you're just trying to get your chart to work in the best possible way. I think most of our life is taught to us and meant to not give us helping us to reach our full potential. And astrology is one of these great gifts and tools that gives us the opportunity to do so. So please feel free to contact me if you're interested. I can reach at coremichael.com, at michael@coremichael.com if you want to send me an email. Thank you for listening today. Please, again, hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends. Please contact me, comment down below if you need. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and have a blessed day and good luck in this coming month of June. Lots of opportunities to take some time and do the right thing. Take care. Bye.